Well, folks, it looks as though Jen Psaki has had enough. Whether it was high fuel prices or whether the U.S. military is or is not training up Ukrainian soldiers in Poland, or maybe her catching COVID even after getting the vaccine, she must have just gotten the straw that broke the camel's back. We now learn that she'll be leaving the White House to sit behind an anchor desk at MSNBC. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is another declaration of truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. In this video, we're going to look at exactly what we know about Jen Psaki leaving the White House, what kind of career she has had, how people really feel about her leaving, and who's going to take her place, and whether they have what it takes, or just what does it take to do a job where you have to lie all the time. Now, before we get into this any deeper, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views. You can find a link in the description, and be sure to check out the awesome CNAV store. Scroll down to the bottom for that link. Lots of good merchandise. And very soon, CNAV will have its own bookshelf with novels from many of my with submissions from my contributors, and an original novel from yours truly, which I talked about yesterday, as a matter of fact. All right, everyone, grab your popcorn, and let's talk first about whether Jen Psaki really is leaving. The story first came to CNN through that old journalistic standby, people familiar with the matter. But oddly enough, Axios came out with the story first. We also see reports from NPR, The Guardian, and The Cut. And in the alternative media, the Gateway Pundit and We Love Trump picked it up too. Axios tells us that people were speculating for weeks whether or when Jen Psaki would leave her gig. Right now, it's only in the talking stages. She has signed no contracts nor told any of her bosses. But the only ones she's talking to are the worthies at MSNBC. There are rules about that sort of thing, about public employees seeking private work while still on their public job. These mainly had to do with a public employee accepting gifts from outside. In fact, some are already suggesting she's breaking those rules. Some of us could consider a high-paying job a gift. Certainly her position makes her a marketable commodity, and it's happened before, as The Cut tells us. Quote, "The White House to TV pundit pipeline appears to be in good working order." Close quote. Though you might remember one memorable case in which it worked the other way. Tony Snow jumped from Fox to the Bush Jr. administration. And then, as some of us remember, he died of colon cancer. A really classy guy, and people of good heart still miss him. Jen Psaki has been in politics since the year 2000. When she graduated from College of William and Mary. She's never held elective office nor run for it, but she's gotten into plenty of campaigns, all of them for the most leftist Democrats out there. They include Governor Tom Vilsack and Senator John Harkin from Iowa, Representative Joseph Crowley of New York. Hey, that's the guy who lost to AOC. And even John Kerry when he ran for president in 2004. She's been in the Obama administration and in the Trump years worked for West Exec Advisors representing several former Obama officials. So when she came to Joe Biden's White House, she had already been speaking for Democrats for about 20 years. The only exception was a gig at CNN as a commentator. And by all indications, she is sincere, which should remind you that one can be sincerely wrong. She even mixed into the Virginia governor's race after Terrence McAuliffe said what he did about parents having to butt out of school. Of course, McAuliffe lost, and that had to hurt, almost as bad as Kerry losing in 2004. Nor will people soon forget her repeated spats with Peter Doocy of Fox News. But of course, Jen Psaki is a typical Northern Virginia lefty denizen. In fact, she might be equally at home on New York City's Upper East Side. Already the good riddance quotes have started flowing in. The Twitterverse has exploded with them. You have John Fun saying that she's leaving the sinking ship. User Cynthia Gare wants to know whether she's not just off while recovering from the virus. Matt Vespa at townhall.com seems to be saying, go already. So who will take her place? Either her deputy, Karine Jean-Pierre, or the communications director, Katie Bedingfield. Both have stood in for her during her COVID bout. Vespa says neither one of them has what it takes. Your editor wonders exactly what it does take, except the capacity to lie convincingly and defend the indefensible, as I said 2 days ago. Wherever she goes, I doubt any of us on our side will miss her or even pick it up. Let's face it, half the country no longer cares to watch what the other half watches. And we're about to find out this fall which half of the country has more viewers and voters. Maybe Jen Psaki showed enough smush to get out while the getting is good. Link in the description of the article where you can see all the tweets and links to the ethics rules of which she may or may not have run afoul. I have another link to the awesome online store. This is Terry A. Hurlbut delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free. Good. Goodbye.